I still see leaders who swear that Israel is not allowing food to Gaza. Well, they quote the exact words of the girl who takes money from Hamas. Do they want to keep repeating her words when everybody knows who wrote them? Welcome to the channel. My name is Lena Sakai. I'm Green Business Post editor. Today, we need to talk about many issues that were arising about Flotilla, Greta Flotilla, about all the aid and the lies that are being posted on the social media. And as I said before, I still see leaders repeating the same words as Greta Thunberg, who is taking money from Hamas. So if you repeat her words, you know that you're repeating Hamas words. Do you want to keep repeating that? Do you think that's a responsible leadership? If you want to become more responsible, keep watching this video to see most of the things that are being put to the light. This is the news of GBN. They are talking about this revelation that Israel did put to light about the Greta's flotilla. And to those who didn't know, Greta was organizing the flotilla. She was claiming that no aid was getting to Gaza, and she was taking aid through this 40 boats, ships, this flotilla, and that's her claim. And they arrived there. They were arrested, and they found out there were no aid on the boats. And you see more information. So this is the news from UK. And why UK? I put UK here because the flotilla funds comes from a shell company UK. That's the owner, whose owner is this guy Birawi. He's a leader of Hamas, not the leader, supreme leader, but a leader in London, in the UK. And his shell company funded his flotilla, not the first flotilla he funded. Yes, you can see Zaher Birawi here behind Greta Thunberg, and he is here next to, this was the supreme leader of Hamas. He was killed. He's without glasses here, so let's see again him here. I was trying to get an angle so you can see better him here.
Birawi drives flotilla campaigns designed
Here. I think you can see better. Let me see. Yeah. Wait, what happened? No. Here. Look at his face. The same face. The same fit. Here he has the glasses better to see. So he is the behind of the flotilla, and the Israel Foreign Ministry, they posted these documents that as a declaration of Hamas, of their cause, and there are people who signed it, and they translated it here. This is the declaration. I can put everything, the links in our I will write in our channel and put everything there. You can check in the description. I won't read it all, but here is his name, Zaher Birawi. Oh, I can't. Here, you see my mouse here. United Kingdom. He's founder and head of European Palestinian Media Forum in London. He represents Hamas there in United Kingdom. So with these documents and pictures and more, they found out he's behind the flotilla. So here we have these members, especially. This picture is in the funeral of Hassan Nasrallah, head of Hezbollah terror organization, and he was there, and he is together in this picture. You can see with Greta Thunberg. Here you can see really. Let's show it here. He's here in the picture, and there's another picture where they were They were seized. He's next to her, smiling. Here, he's smiling next to her. Yeah, so you can see him smiling here. Yeah. So more members of the flotilla. And then here is Daily Mail. They were the first ones to question, posing with Hamas chief activist who joined Greta Thunberg on Gaza Freedom Flotilla. And they were questioning that before Israel released those documents and that information that Greta was being, she's taking she's being funded by Hamas. And here it was the people's concern before they knew Greta Thunberg in a boat, this Sumud Flotilla that she calls, and Hamas aid only. So they were thinking she was carrying Hamas aid only. Because they claimed they were taking aid to Palestinians because they were claiming that Israel was not allowing aid on Palestinians. They were starving to death. And this is them claiming that because claiming they have food and Israel is not going to allow food there when they arrive. So he's throwing food inside bottles and he's claiming that it's going to get there through the sea. But people started getting angry because they said that plastic is a problem nowadays, and he's throwing plastic to the ocean when there is a problem of too much plastic in the ocean. And we hope it gets there because what we know is that Hamas is stealing all of it. Here we have the Pope offering to deliver Gaza aid rejected by Greta Flotilla. So there is aid going to Gaza, and the Pope delivered the aid. So, and I can show you here. This is the news. Oh, this is the news of the Telegraph. So, going back here, activist Mercy Fleet refused to unload humanitarian cargo in Cyprus and let Vatican distribute it to Palestinians. And so they rejected the Pope's offer, and people start asking, why are they rejecting if the Pope can deliver their aid on those 40 ships, lots of ships. So maybe lots of aid they're taking, right? Why are them rejecting the Pope's help? Because the popes they usually do really deliver things and help people, and they have audition to see if things are going to where they should. So that was the question, and then people started questioning the videos they were posting on social media. They were looking here in this some of these videos they were posting them singing and gathering and having fun, and they were asking where is the aid in the boat, and they were not never seeing the aid in those videos. And then when they were arrested, this member military member, he was showing that there was no aid on the boats, not enough, not the quantity of aid they were claiming, because 40 ships for what? It's because of the aid, right? They would carry lots of aid, and so that was the claim, and they found nothing. They found too little, and this too little was shown by a secret agent that got infiltrated inside this flotilla and infiltrated before, but you can see the whole video later. Here I will show you. So she joins the flotilla. We show this part, but you can see the whole video. She records the leaders of Hamas saying their plans, and so here she joins this Adcan does this kind of work. She joins the flotilla sailing from Europe to Gaza, only to discover there is practically no aid supplies on board. So let's see what she says.
A few boxes of gauze, like something completely negligible. It's just an excuse to say like, oh, we're carrying medical supplies or whatever it is, but it was worth nothing.
You can see it later with more time. What all the takes she made, she did record secretly. So here starts appearing more inside videos of the flotilla. Here, flotilla leader admits lying to propagate media narrative about Israel. So let's hear her.
Once we finally got these crazy boats, they were moored in Greece. And I was in charge of the media office. That's my background. And I was in charge of the media office, and we were all in Cyprus. And so I would put out a press release, and it would say, the boats are in Alexandria, getting ready to go. And then 2 weeks later I'd say, the boats have moved to Turkey, and they're getting ready to come to Cyprus. Well, the boats were never either one of those places. They were always in Greece. So the Zionists, when they want to attack me, they do that quite often, say to me all the time, you lied all the time. I said, yeah, we did. Yoo-hoo, we lied. Once we finally got...
So you see that she celebrates, she lies to the media. That's not something for real and responsible initiatives. And this is something that they try to say to the public, that Israel was attacking their ships with drones, falling bombs, and this video appeared, and no one believed it was a bomb. This is not the sound of a bomb. This, they say, sound of a flare, misfiring a flare, and they think the own crew was firing this flare. So you can hear the sound of it. Let's hear the sound of it. And they started screaming help, but let's hear again. You can see that the boat didn't even shake. If it was a bomb, the boat, I think, would like shake, right? And there is something else they say. Some people were saying about this flotilla. They were saying like she was a climate environmental activist. So where are why is she using, why they are using the fuel for the ship? Why not the wind? They were asking about the flotilla. Why the wind? They would not use the wind. They're using the fuel. Critics are they're noticing they are not worried about the environment. They're using fuel and the emissions, and they don't say anything about it. So and then the next claim is that here they were arrested. They are in the clothes of people who were arrested, prisoner arrested, and they were claiming here. Greta is claiming this is after she was released. She was claiming she was mistreated, and Here, people are showing videos of her not being mistreated. And here is Greta, after she was released. She couldn't explain how mistreated she was. So let's hear her.
Which is very worrying because people were not being treated well. I was not able to say goodbye to people, and I don't know what's happening. And there were many issues.
When you say they're not treated well, what do you mean?
Well,
Could you elaborate for us?
obviously in a very dehumanizing way. But of course, I have to stress nothing compared to what Palestinians are going through.
But still, can you give us some, what happened to you when you arrived in Ashdod port? I mean, were you taken off the boat? Was there any violence? Were you detained? How? Where?
No, I prefer not to go into details about that. There
Cannot elaborate how she was mistreated. So, and here pictures, they're saying they're not being mistreated. Of course, memes, of course. World record. Greta Thunberg becomes the first hostage victim in history whose kidnappers' only demand is that she leave. So she was claiming she was kidnapped. There were hostages, and they use these words, and they were taken without their will. So kind of saying they were hostage, kidnapped. And here people say, critics are saying this is fake hostage. Greta is fake hostage, and this is an actual hostage, which is an Israeli in a tunnel, Hamas tunnel. You can see he hasn't eaten well. You can see from his skin. And here people started asking questions like, let me fix the audio because it's too much loud. They were starting asking questions like, why would they throw their phones before the Israeli arrived on their ship? Why would they throw their phones if they have nothing to hide? If it's all legitimate, if they're honest, if they're doing everything okay, everything legal, why are they throwing their phones to the ocean? That's their question. There's a politician that threw her phone also. This woman, let me take up the audio. Show again. Politician tosses phone as Israel intercept. She throws her phone. You can see. There's another video they put in slow motion. Here the circle, you can see better. Let me put here. As intercept Gaza aid flotilla. You can see better. She's throwing her phone. This parliament member of French parliament member, Hima Hassan, she said she would refuse to leave Israel while the tension announced a hunger strike, and they show a picture of her eating. So they claim it's another lie, they're saying. So this is another video, them showing how good they were treated. They were given food and water. Hands were not even tied. I see now. And the critics saying, like you saw, this was one of the first images that Hamas posted online when they attacked 2 years ago. And this is Greta receiving bread to eat and smiling. So this is how Israel treats a hostage. And this is how Hamas treats a tourist. She's not even Israeli. She wasn't German. And she's all broken. Her legs and all broken. You can see her. You can see she's all broken, her legs and everything. They broke her bones and everything. Of course, they would the internet would show like as if is Greta Thunberg is Hamas girlfriend. He's both called fanatic, and this is the pose of Titanic. Everybody, I think, remembers, or the younger ones can watch the movie Titanic to have the reference. Another meme they put in Hamas terrorists holding Greta Thunberg. It's another meme. Here I want to show a bit of 2 years ago what happened, just few
1,200
footages.
killed in Israel, 46 Americans, 250 taken hostage.
What happened here is a large scale.
Just to remember them, what happened. This is what happened really. They really did this. And this is the terrorists saying, thank you, Greta Thunberg, for your support. And this is what really happened there. I'm not going to show real footage because it's disgusting. And if you want to see it, you can find it. This is what they're calling Greta Oompa Loompa from Hamas. The old movie of the Willy Wonka chocolate factory. The Oompa Loompas were like that. These are another critics of terrorists carrying Israeli babies because they killed babies, really. And she's saying, Greta's saying, how dare you use plastic bags? We need to save the world. And she's angry because he's using plastic bags to carry the babies. But we see that she's not climate or she's not defending the world anymore, like from environment. She's not an environmental activist anymore. She went to this flotilla and didn't use the wind power. She used the fuel power. This one in the flotilla, she's saying that the hostages, women hostages, were treated well by Hamas. She says it's a lie that they were mistreated, they were raped. She said it's a lie. So that's what they have in their heads. That's what the kind of thoughts or facts they have in their minds. And here I show you from this Israeli Foreign Ministry the aid per day. So it's a lot of aid. And the Sumud Flotilla from Greta Thunberg got almost no aid at all. 40 ships and where the aid was known. Here I can show you from this COGAT, Coordination of Government Activities in the Territories, Judea and Samaria and towards the Gaza Strip, coordinating and facilitating humanitarian aid for Gaza. And them showing footages of how their aid is being taken care of, how they organize it. So the trucks and them putting the aid. It's where the Pope's aid would go. So that's how they organize it. Some footages, people haven't seen it. The media doesn't show. So let's show it. There are other footages of them posting here. 600 trucks entered Gaza Strip yesterday, 5 October. So we have pictures of a lot of food and trucks. Here, better. So let me show pictures, a lot of food and supplies in the trucks. They organize. What happened, unfortunately, because of this, because of the aid is being stolen by Hamas. There was a period of time here I saw in Wall Street Journal, April 16th, Israel last month cut off supplies of humanitarian goods to the enclave, some of which Hamas had been seizing and selling to raise funds. A depleted Hamas is so low on cash that it can't pay its fighters. The same news here, and they're really saying Hamas is stealing. Here we have other ways of that the food is being dropped on these refugee shelters. but Hamas steals them. Here we have a video of Hamas with fruits on a truck. Hamas terrorist crushes fruits intended for Gaza. So food is not missing for them, for the terrorists. It might not be missing because you can see here he crushes it. So maybe it's not missing for them, but and they don't care for the population because he wouldn't be doing that for people who is starving. They're letting this population starve. They're stealing the trucks. So all those trucks they were organizing is stolen by Hamas. You can see them with guns and people just watching because they can't do anything. They don't have guns. And here it's a alleged person saying, and no one contested, but the community did not contest, but they are saying that Hamas is selling the aid so they can raise money. So they're using the aid to raise money. It doesn't care if people are suffering and people are starving. They're raising money with food. That's what Wall Street Journal said. And this may be an image of it. And this, let me show, yes. And this is what Israel Foreign Ministry posted. They said that Greta Thunberg posted this, saying that the Palestinian prisoners are suffering, and so. But they said that she used the image of Israeli hostage. This is an Israeli hostage, and she's saying that it's a Palestinian hostage. This is a very well-known Israeli hostage that I showed before, and Greta Thunberg posted as if he's a Palestinian. So he's using image of Israeli hostage to say it's a Palestinian hostage prisoner. So that's total lie. I forgot to show you, to remind you about Greta Thunberg. And these Friends of Science initiative really criticized her first appearance, I think, when she was a kid. The U.S. Congress asked her urgency and the climate issues. Where does that came from? If it was scientific research, and see her answer.
Ms. Thunberg, thank you for your involvement here today. I commend you for your willingness to testify and get involved with public policy. In the past, when you're talking about climate change, you have said, quote, "I want you to panic. I want you to feel the fear I feel every day." Is there what particular study or scientific report did you read that made you come to this conclusion?
Thank you for a question. First of all, let me just clear that those are metaphors. In speeches, you often use metaphors. Of course, I don't mean literally that I want people to panic. So there was no scientific study that made me come to that conclusion. There was no scientific study that made me come to that conclusion. There was no scientific study that made me come to that conclusion.
They're criticizing this UN COP26 Glasgow about this carbon tax, global carbon tax. They're criticizing because she came with all that scandal, and there was no scientific proof that about her fear. So that's her the start of her career as an activist, and now she's being backed by Hamas. So if people are still believing in that, please share this video and show them this truth. Since she was young, she's doing this, and she's lying since she's young. No scientific study, and now no proof that the people are are comparing Greta's with hair as the He-Man, and they draw it like her face because they're making fun of her on the internet. This is Greta like those that thing. How can I say? I forgot the name. Goblin. They say the goblin, my precious, but that's a gremlin. That's a gremlin. Those monsters that would cause a lot of trouble. They're comparing to Greta, and they deal with AI. Another joke. Hamas surrenders after seeing Greta Thunberg's haircut. This is fun. So they draw a Hamas with flute. That story of the flute guy who can control the animals. The animals go after him. So the same here. Hamas plays the flute, and these people from the river to the sea, I stand with Palestine. They follow whatever they say, whatever they claim, and they hear with closed eyes. So it doesn't matter what the truth, doesn't matter what we show, the video shows, what the Palestinians are saying and showing. They record videos in their territory, and they here is a message of showing they don't care. So the question that stays, I think everybody has seen all those Palestinian movements that they say, and now we know it's Hamas behind it, and the hate they are spreading, especially with young people. And the question that stays, who's dragging innocence into hate? Who is the real terrorist? After thinking about it, would you still continue to repeat the words of those ones who's been paid by Hamas? The same words that Hamas wrote, would you still be repeating that? That's the question that stays for you as leaders, managers, and responsible for organizations, initiatives, responsible initiatives. Would you still believe in that? Or you will start looking for more information before you accuse anyone? Because in a war, we know there are lies in any direction and many interests, and we need to be careful before hating each other. And I don't think hate is the answer. Hate is not the answer for any peace. We put all the links in our channel, and you can watch for yourself the whole videos and get to a conclusion by yourself. Thanks for watching. This was Green Business Post, Responsible Impacts for Sustainable Communities.